Welcome back, guys. Thanks for taking the time to spend a little time with me. Definitely appreciate that, like always. Hey, man, let me start off with this before I even get started about the fight, man. Shout outs to Gambino. Some of you guys may know who that is here on YouTube. He's usually the one that does a lot of these recaps or even pre-game or pre-fight analysis, So shout outs to him. He's a huge boxing fan, as am I. So, every now and then I've done these videos as well. But like I said, shout out to him. I don't know if he'll be making a video or not, but we'll see. But anyway, let's talk about Manny Pacquiao, man. If this was his final fight, hey, he's had a tremendous career. I am a huge boxing fan. Some would call me a boxing aficionado, because I've been watching it so long and the analysis that I give and such. I'm sure there's a lot that I don't know, but you know how that goes. But huge boxing fan, man. I love boxing with a passion. It's right up there with football with me. I love it. And I've watched Manny Pacquiao since his beginning. I really remember those times. Little Manny Pacquiao, the little guy, the guy who fought Eric Morales. I've been watching him since that long, and I knew he was special. And he's had a special career. He definitely has. He does have six losses. Hey, it is what it is. When you fight a long time, sometimes you take a couple L's. Not everybody can go undefeated, so I'm not going to knock him on that. I think this man has had a phenomenal career. Of course, there's always going to be question marks in regards to whether he used enhancement drugs, what have you. I don't know. Who knows? I have no way of knowing that. If he did, we'll probably never know about it. Whatever. But if you're looking at what he did in the boxing world, hey, hats off to him, man. I hope he has a phenomenal rest of his, I guess I would say career. I know he's going into politics, so good luck with all of that. But let's talk about, this particular fight against Tim Bradley. Now, he looked pretty good tonight. He definitely looked good. And I know a lot of people are going to say, I want to see him fight Floyd again and blah, blah, blah. Listen, let me go ahead and dead that right now. First of all, Floyd Mayweather is just a different guy. Entirely. He's one of those special boxers. He's like Roy Jones was in his prime time. Like Andre Ward is right now. He's one of those special guys that you're going to have to bring your A game to even have a slight chance to beat him. All right? Now, some people will say, Floyd Mayweather, all he does is run. No, Floyd Mayweather boxes. He is what you call a defensive fighter who counter shots. Every now and then he might throw a lead 1-2, but he's just the best at what he does. Some people don't appreciate actual boxing. I'm one of those folks that I like all styles of boxing. I like aggressive fighters. I like, defensive fighters. I like guys who attack and defend. I like pure counter shots. Like a Rigondeaux, a guy like that is probably very boring to a lot of people. But anyway, the point I'm making is, it's funny because Max Kellerman said something tonight. He said that Floyd Mayweather said, listen, fighting Manny Pacquiao was not easy. It's very hard to figure out. Just because I made it look easy doesn't mean anything. He'll beat anybody else. Now, I'm not going to get into their fight. People are going to have their opinions about that, whether or not Manny was 100% or whatever. I'm not getting into all that because as far as that, my concern with that, the fight happened too late with both of them. Plus, if he really was injured, if he had a semi-injury before entering the fight, he should have never entered the fight at the time that he did. That's just my opinion. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse. But anyway, let's fast forward to what just happened. Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley is the perfect opponent for Manny Pacquiao to look good on. Let's just be honest. Timothy Bradley is a solid fighter. He's not a great boxer, but he is a tough, competitive fighter. He has skills, doesn't have a lot of defense. He is not a natural boxer. You're definitely seeing a little transition with him, with Teddy Atlas. Hopefully, if Tim Bradley continues to fight, like he said tonight, he probably will, but he'll see how everything goes. Hopefully, Teddy Atlas is the guy who stays in his corner, because that type of Tim Bradley will be tough to beat. A Timothy Bradley that boxes. He's not known for that. Even when he fought, what's the guy's name? I'm not gonna say his name right. Pravagnikov, I think it's whatever the guy's name. I can't. Ruslan Pravagnikov, I think is his name. I know I'm saying that wrong, but y'all know who I'm talking about. And you saw what happened in that fight. he was concussed in the fight, because this is a guy who stands right in front of you and will trade shots with you. That's his nature. Tough dude. I mean, you gotta almost kill that dude to get him out of the ring. So, putting Manny Pacquiao in the ring with him, a Manny Pacquiao that likes to come forward, come on, what do you expect? You know, he's faster than Timothy Bradley. He's a more skilled boxer than Timothy Bradley at this stage. It is what it is. So, you know, don't overly assess that fight and say, oh, this is the guy we wanted to see against Floyd or against, you know, whoever else, Amir Khan, any of these dudes, whoever, you know, any other guy he might could fight. You know, listen, a defensive fighter, a pure boxer at this time would probably give Pacquiao a little problem. I mean, it just is what it is. And just like if him and Floyd was able to fight again, I think the same thing happens. Manny Pacquiao's style is exactly what plays into the hands of Floyd Mayweather, coming forward against a defensive counter shot fighter, a counterpuncher. It's not the way you want to attack it. You know, in their fight that they did fight, like regardless of when he got hurt, you know, some said he aggravated the shoulder in the fourth quarter, in the fourth round or what have you. But either way, Floyd was able to neutralize his attack, and that's just how it goes, man. You know, if you're a real boxing fan, you know styles make fights. Like I said, I don't really care about the whole Floyd against Pacquiao situation, because I think that fight should have took place 10 years ago, maybe, you know, 8 years or so ago, what have you. But at this stage, and when they fought last year, whatever, man, it wasn't even as exciting to me anymore. You know, I would like to see Pacquiao, if he does continue to fight, he says he's done, but I would like to see him fight somebody else, up and coming, like a Keith Thurman or somebody like that. You know, maybe even Amir Khan. You know, Amir Khan, probably not on Floyd's level, but that's a guy that could give you kind of a problem with his skill, the skill that he has. He's not a great fighter, but he does have the tools that could give some guys some problems. So if he fights again, I would love to see something like that, but it is what it is, man. He said he's retired, so hey, great career. Finished your career with a pretty good fight. You know, the third time against Timothy Bradley. Did put on the show, but like I said, Timothy Bradley was the perfect guy to, you know, look good against, you know, in terms of Pacquiao's style versus his style. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the last thing I'm going to say is, if you don't believe that styles make fights, look at how good the fights were with Pacquiao and Marquez. All of those fights was great. And I actually think Marquez won more than he lost in those fights that they had. And we all know at that last fight when he knocked Pacquiao out cold, that's my exact point. Pacquiao's style would lean towards that happening to him against a skilled boxer that can punch. Somebody like a Keith Thurman could probably get Pacquiao out of there. And they even said that Freddie Roach was saying, you know, in an earlier meeting, that he would love to see Pacquiao fight a Canelo and then fight Floyd again. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. A dude like Canelo Alvarez would be a very interesting fight. You know, because he can't neutralize, you know, Pacquiao cannot neutralize Canelo's offense the way that Floyd was able to do so when he fought Canelo. So I don't know, man. I'm not going to get into that too much. I'm just saying, you guys know, I'm getting into the habit of doing more of these vlogs. You guys seem to like them. So there you have it, man. Just wanted to give my reflections on tonight's fight. It was a nice, entertaining fight, but I think it was a perfect matchup for a Manny Pacquiao to look good. All right, so you guys definitely leave your thoughts in the comments. I know it's going to get interesting, guys having their opinions and this, that, and the third. It's always entertaining to watch that. So definitely leave your thoughts, leave your comments. I promise it won't hurt you to hit that like button. All right, guys, until next time, like always, let me know what you think. Peace. Once again, guys, thanks for coming by. And if you want to interact with me live, head on over to Sim Standard Radio every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, along with Smitty and Azure Effect. The call-in number for the show is down in the description. Now, of course, for more content, go ahead and click the link above. And before you go, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys. Until next time, lights out.